Mike Pence just dropped out of the GOP race. He's out of there. Tim, I'm not surprised at all. I didn't even know he was running. He has the personality of a dead snail. He's like a human-made drug. First thing you want to do is get it out of there. Yeah? He dropped out because his numbers were bad. His fundraising numbers are bad, his polling numbers are bad. So the third installment of the Republican debates is coming up. And instead of looking shamefully bad in the presence of Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, I know they're going to make it to the next debate. Nikki Haley, for instance, he was not going to be able to participate. And to save face and also have an opportunity maybe to run in the future when there's less people running or less Trump, when there's no more Trump running, maybe he'd get a shot. So he decided to bow out of the race. Despite his efforts to connect with voters and clarify his actions, on January 6th, Pence struggled to gain traction, even in states like Iowa, with demographics seemingly favorable to his political stance. So we got a lot of moderates in Iowa, moderate Republican-type folks. He was still polling so badly. None of it was working for him. His campaign finances had also reflected his struggles with a modest amount in the bank and growing debt. So he was underwater in so many ways, it was like a no-brainer, like, Pence, sit it down. Sit it down if you want any type of political future. And I try to tell people, man, being the vice president is a sucker's job. It's a thankless job. It doesn't have much power at all, except leading the Senate, a leader in the Senate maybe, as far as votes and being able to whip the votes and stuff. But at the end of the day, you get none of the credit for things when they go well. You get all the credit when things go bad. And you're like annihilated with no flavor. Or maybe like the gum when you first put in a Big Red, you chew on a Big Red, it's like, oh, I like this Big Red. Big Red tastes good, this hot cinnamon. This is good stuff. You ever had Big Red? Well, about 20 chews in, the cinnamon's gone. And you're still chewing. That's Mike Pence. Not only is that Mike Pence, that's every vice president that's ever been. Except for Dick Cheney. And Dick Cheney was a jackass. Now, Mike Pence says he's going to remain politically active. He's not through being milquetoast. And he has a book scheduled for release next month. I know you guys are going to run out and get the Mike Pence book, right? Can't wait to hear what Mike Pence has to say. Said no one, anytime, anywhere in the history of people. Now, no one cares about Mike Pence, man. I'm not sure exactly how the subject came up, but there was this thing about Mike Pence saying he would never have dinner with a woman that wasn't his wife. And that's including business meetings. So he's always seemed pretty awkward. I mean, it's one thing to be an evangelical Christian or whatever. It's another thing to be like, look, I can't even operate in the rest of the world. Because I got this pent-up problems because I can't be around the women's. Ever since then, I think it was pretty much etched in stone that Mike Pence's career wasn't going to go far. I mean, Trump picked him because no one trusted Trump. And Trump just needed somebody that was grounded in the Republican Party that could give him the evangelical vote. That's what he needed. He needed the Christians to make it okay to elect a guy who said he grabbed women without their permission, that he grabbed women places. And had all these affairs and kids or, just all the Trump stuff, all the, Stormy Daniels, Hollywood tapes of him saying he grabbed women, the whole thing, everything. Paul or whatever her name was and said he touched her and he needed Mike Pence. He needed an awkward Protestant, Catholic, whatever he is. I don't even know what religion Mike Pence is. And that's the reason why Mike Pence has a career. I mean, beyond being a senator from Indiana. Where's he from, Indiana? I don't remember. Mike Pence is from a place in America where only white votes were needed for him to get a career. Because, only a certain kind of white guy, the Amish. Maybe it was the Amish that elected Mike Pence. But this is the type of guys they choose, right? But does anyone really see Mike Pence being like important. No. It's creepy. I mean, what kind of guy doesn't trust himself with women unless that guy has problems? You know, it's all types of dinner. It doesn't have to be a romantic dinner, Mike. It could have been just a hot dog stand dinner, Could have been, taco. Cheesecake Factory. Mike Pence dropping out of the election is probably the least surprising thing that could happen this week. And yeah, Trump is running through the competition like a knife through butter. And he's not even trying. Trump doesn't show up for debates, and he's still the topic of the debates. How are you going to beat a guy like that? So I think what Mike Pence did was smart. It's the same thing Kamala Harris did. Can't win? Quit. He's already been picked one time. He's not going to get picked again. I don't know what he does with the rest of his life. Maybe he just becomes the weird guy who owns an ice cream shop. Maybe he'll cut a record to go along with his book that no one will read unless they are out of sedatives.
Tim Black's Black Table streams Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel the power of the news with us.